August 12, 1995. A seemingly ordinary summer night in Ravenwood, a small town where neighbors trusted one another and crime was rare. But that night, something unthinkable happened. A massacre so horrific that it would scar the town forever. The Peterson family, Michael, Susan, and their 3 children, were brutally slain in their own home. The crime scene was a vision of pure chaos, with messages scrawled in blood on the walls and eerie clues that pointed in multiple directions. The question that haunted everyone: who would destroy an entire family so viciously, and why? This is the chilling true crime story of the Peterson family massacre. The Petersons were a seemingly perfect family. Michael was a dedicated high school principal, Susan was a part-time librarian, and their 3 children, Emma, 14, Jake, 11, and Sophie, 7, were well-liked and talented. On the day of their murders, they had spent the afternoon at a local fair, taking pictures, eating cotton candy, and enjoying the final days of summer. Neighbors recalled hearing laughter echo from their backyard as the family returned home that evening. But by morning, the house had fallen eerily silent. It was the milkman who discovered the bodies. When nobody answered the door, he peered inside and saw an unimaginable horror. The living room was in disarray, furniture overturned, glass shattered. In the center of it all lay Michael Peterson, his body covered in deep lacerations. Susan was found in the kitchen, slumped over the counter, a large knife still embedded in her back. The children were discovered upstairs, each murdered in a similarly brutal manner. The most disturbing part? The phrase, "they know," had been written on the walls in blood, sending shivers down investigators' spines. The brutality of the crime suggested a deeply personal motive. At first, police suspected a robbery gone wrong, but nothing was stolen. The investigation soon took an eerie turn when forensic experts discovered something strange. There were no signs of forced entry. Whoever had killed the Petersons had likely been invited in. Detectives combed through the family's background. Could Michael have had enemies at work? Did Susan have a hidden past? What about their children? Had they encountered danger online or at school? One of the first suspects was an ex-student of Michael's who had recently been expelled for violent behavior. Another was a family friend with an unusual fascination for crime novels. But the most disturbing suspect? The Petersons' own eldest daughter, Emma. As investigators delved deeper into Emma's life, they uncovered troubling signs that had gone unnoticed. Friends described her as distant and brooding in recent months. Teachers recalled sudden outbursts of anger, and her journal entries became increasingly disturbing. Her fascination with horror films and true crime stories had escalated into something far more sinister. Emma had met Dylan Marks, a 17-year-old high school dropout, 6 months prior. Dylan was obsessed with the idea of perfect crime scenarios and had a history of violent fantasies. The two became inseparable, feeding off each other's darkest thoughts, and soon Emma began to believe that her family was an obstacle to her freedom. After weeks of dead ends, investigators received an anonymous tip leading them to a chilling discovery: Emma's diary. In it, she had written about her growing resentment toward her parents, detailing her hatred with unsettling precision. Under intense questioning, Emma finally cracked. She admitted that she and Dylan had meticulously planned the massacre. Emma had unlocked the door for Dylan, who entered wielding a knife, and together they slaughtered her family. The details of the attack were chilling. Emma revealed that her parents had gone to bed unaware of what was coming. Dylan had crept upstairs while Emma stood in the hallway, listening as her father gasped in horror. Susan woke up moments later, only to be met with the same fate. Then, together, they turned to the children's rooms. Sophie, the youngest, had cried for her sister, but Emma felt nothing. But why? Emma claimed she had been suffocated by her parents' expectations, yearning for freedom. Dylan, an aspiring criminal mastermind, convinced her that murder was the only way to escape. They had planned to flee the state after the killings, living off stolen money and embracing a life of chaos. But they had not anticipated the police's swift action or the evidence left behind. The town of Ravenwood was left in shock. How could a daughter betray her own family in such a monstrous way? The trial was a media sensation. Emma, once a straight-A student and beloved daughter, now stood before the court as a cold-blooded murderer. Dylan, smug and remorseless, appeared to enjoy the attention. Both were sentenced to life in prison without parole. Emma's final words in the courtroom chilled everyone. "I don't regret it. I'm finally free." The Peterson house remained abandoned for years, a ghostly reminder of the horrors that took place within its walls. Some say, on quiet nights, the echoes of laughter can still be heard, a cruel echo of the family that never saw their nightmare coming. Urban legends spread throughout the town. Some claimed the house was cursed, that shadows moved in the windows when no one was inside. A few dared to break in, only to leave terrified, swearing they heard whispers in the dark. The Peterson family massacre remains one of the most shocking crimes in modern history, a tragedy born from betrayal, manipulation, and a thirst for freedom that turned deadly. Could something this horrifying happen again? Are there hidden dangers lurking behind seemingly perfect facades? Perhaps. The scariest monsters are the ones we never see coming. If you found this story chilling, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more true crime stories that will keep you up at night. Sleep well, if you can.